Part 2. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 12. If this is the case, Lily might be able to figure it out. But if the truth is as she guessed, then Mo Chantang would be too shameless. This point was not made explicit in the plot, but at this moment Baimu could say that she was ready to hand over the company to Mo Chantang. It is not impossible to do such a thing in the plot, but Mo Chantang took the reward from Bajia, and in the last scene he picked up girls openly and righteously. He was not only cruel and ruthless, but later regretted getting things. He was also ungrateful. Using Bajia's assets not only made him famous for being infatuated, but also allowed him to climb up successfully by stepping on him. Thinking of this, Lily couldn't help but feel resentment in her heart. Mom, Chantang must look down on me, right? After saying this, Lily lowered her head and began to wipe her eyes. Baimu was originally more and more satisfied with Mo Chantang, his future son-in-law. His daughter had been in poor health since she was a child. Not only did he not dislike her, but everyone in the Mo family had always agreed to marry her. But even if Baimu was satisfied with her son-in-law, in fact, after all, in her heart, her daughter is more important than Mo Chantang. In the past, no one knew better than Baimu how much Lily liked Mo Chantang. Brother Mo, she was never willing to say a harsh word, and she still looked forward to the future of the two of them. But suddenly Lily changed. She not only did she become a lot more depressed, but now she actually said that Mo Chantang might not like her. Baimu felt angry and subconsciously wondered if Mo Chantang had said something to her daughter. Did that boy from the Mo family say something? She couldn't help but think of whether Mo Chantang had said something to her daughter about breaking off the engagement. When Baimu thought of this, she was furious. Just as she was about to stand up, Lily had already raised her head. With a pale face. He didn't say anything. He just brought a girlfriend over, said. In the plot, it is true that after Mo Chantang finally agreed to Huang Baishan to be her boyfriend, he took her to visit Lily in the hospital at Huang Baishan's request. At that time, Lily was full of hostility towards the girl, but Mo Chantang was so sweet. He comforted her and allowed her to hold back her sadness as she watched her boyfriend and other women kiss me. Although it hasn't happened yet, it will happen sooner or later, so Lily doesn't feel guilty at all when she lies. He also said it was not true, that he just asked that girl to donate her heart to me. At this point, Lily saw the mixed look on Baimu's face, and quickly said, "But Mom, there is no such ridiculous thing in the world. I want a living person to donate a heart to me. If word gets out, won't I become the target of everyone's reviling in the future? It's more likely to affect Dad's business, and even bring you down." In fact, when it comes to this, Lily can't help but feel depressed. This kind of bizarre plot involves living people donating their hearts, and some people are moved. Isn't there something unreasonable about it? Even if you want to save lives, you can't save them with a living person's life, right? Forget it if it's an underground black market, but this hospital is obviously well known throughout the country. At this moment, Lily couldn't help but attribute this strange situation to an unreasonable arrangement in order to create a tragedy for the male and female protagonists. Come. Baimu was initially surprised when she heard that Mo Chantang had a girlfriend, and then felt comforted when she heard Lily say that Mo Chantang was trying to find Lily's heart. She didn't think about anything else. After all, she only wanted her own heart. Baimu was already very grateful that her daughter could survive safely, but now she heard her daughter remind her that she loved her daughter so much that she had not noticed it before. After her daughter finished speaking, Baimu felt something was wrong, and silence fell. Seeing that what she said was effective, Lily wiped her tears again. I think the two of them are very close. It's not like they're just pretending. What's more, if that woman is really that great, why would she donate her heart to my fiancé? What about dating? Can't it be used as payment in other ways? Even though she knew that Mo Chantang had a fiancé, she still wanted to be his girlfriend. That woman must have liked Mo Chantang very much. She liked Mo Chantang so much. You must be jealous of me as your fiancé, right? How could you sincerely donate your heart to me? I think they are actually going to date, but because Mo Changtang still has me as his fiancé, they are waiting for me to die, so we can be together openly and honestly. By the time she said it at the end, Lily's voice had become a little deeper. After hearing what she said, Bai Mu felt that it was very reasonable. The more she thought about it, the weirder it became. Thinking of the meaning of her daughter's words, if Mo Changtang really had such a scheming, this person is really too dangerous. Bai Mu felt a chill in her heart. Seeing her daughter's extremely sad look, she quickly stepped forward, held her head in her arms, and started crying. My poor daughter, the child whose mother suffered so much. If Mo Changtang really does this, he will die a good death. There will be thunder and lightning. Don't worry, if he really dares to let you go, if he gives birth to something messy, our family I will never let him go. These categorical words made Lily breathe a sigh of relief. This was the result she wanted. When she heard Bai Mu's words, she was of course relieved. She was ready to be discharged from the hospital that day. She only said that she didn't like the smell in the hospital. Bai Mu was a mother who only obeyed her daughter. After hearing Bai He's words, although she was worried about her daughter's health, she thought there was a family doctor at home. No matter what happens, it cannot be too late, so I happily agreed. At this time, Mo Changtang had already begun to chase behind Huang Baishan and began to ask for her heart. Mo Changtang was not unaware of the unbelievable thing of asking for a heart from a living person and asking her to donate it, but Beijia's desire was so great that he knew from an early age that he was born to give it to Beijia. When Beijia didn't get the little princess who was the prince's consort, nothing could happen to Beijia's little princess. He couldn't allow this kind of vain thing to happen, and the Mo family was even less likely to give up on being on the rich list ***. Saving the little princess of Beijia is not only for herself, but also for the family. There shouldn't be any mistakes. Huang Baishan looked at the famous Prince Charming on campus who had been following her in the past 2 days. The girls around her looked at her with envious looks. As a woman, she was not without vanity, but she has been secretly in love with the prince of the Mo family for a long time, so long that her heart ached. Book lovers are welcome to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan Erwr. Chapter 13. I still remember when I was in junior high school, it rained heavily and there was no umbrella. Huang Baishan was wearing a white shirt and her school uniform was soaked by the rain. The clothes clung to her body. She had been well developed since she was a child, but she was a little embarrassed. The gazes of the male classmates around her made her feel uncomfortable and about to cry. Mo Changtang saved her like a god descending from the earth. He held her in his arms. The fresh fragrance of the prince's body made her still unable to forget him. She gave his umbrella to herself. From then on, Huang Baishan knew that her identity and appearance were ordinary and the prince might not be able to see her, but she still fell madly in love with him. She worked hard to earn money after school, and she bought a high-quality camera. The money could cover her tuition for several years, but she still worked for 2 years and saved up to buy a camera. From then on, every move of the prince was reflected. She captured it on her camera, developed it, and posted it all over the room. She loved it so humbly that whenever the words Mo Changtang appeared in the school magazine, she would cut it all out and paste it up. She loved her so deeply, but now her prince finally saw her, and his request was to kill her. What shocked Huang Baishan the most was that he already had a fiancé. As a die-hard fan of Mo Changtang, she didn't know about this before, which shows how deeply he hid it. When she heard the news, Huang Beishan thought she was so heartbroken that she would die immediately, but she didn't. She just asked calmly, "Can you let me think about it?" Although she was a little flattered by the prince's initiative to get close, but after all, this was her life, she can't treat it as a child's play, not to mention that she also enjoys the moment of being close to the prince now, and she can't bear to refuse it too quickly. "Okay, I'll give you 2 days to think about it, and I'll ask you again the day after tomorrow." Mo Chengtang turned to leave gracefully. When Huang Beishan saw that he was leaving, she suddenly became anxious, and thought that he would not come to see her again tomorrow. He couldn't help gritting his teeth. "It doesn't have to be the day after tomorrow. I will give you the answer tomorrow." Of course Mo Chengtang was happy to get the news about him as soon as possible. He could almost imagine that as long as he told Beijia's parents that he had found a suitable heart for Lily, his future parents-in-law would be very happy. What, maybe the subsidiary company of Beijia that he likes, that he thinks has great development potential, has been wanted by Beijia's father, and he might be happy and give it to him. Mo Chengtang suppressed the excitement in his heart, made a cold expression, nodded and said, "Okay, I'll see you again tomorrow. I hope you won't lie to me." "Of course I won't lie to you." Huang Beishan didn't realize Mo Chengtang's aggressive tone, but a sense of happiness filled her heart. After a whole day of struggle, after getting along well with the prince and dedicating herself to him so that he could remember her for the rest of his life, compared to having no life after death, Huang Beishan still decided to donate, just like in the plot. Heart. Dirty. Still next to the tree, Huang Beishan showed a pale face and looked at the handsome young man walking towards her. He had his hands in his trouser pockets. That kind of handsomeness was real, not like the one in the previous photos. She could only get close to the cold painting, but now she could touch him personally. Thinking of this, Huang Beishan showed a smile. "I have thought about your request, and I promise you." Looking at the smile on Mo Chengtang's face, Huang Beishan felt sour in her heart, feeling that he must love his girlfriend very much, and a wave of unwillingness and jealousy came to her heart. "But I have a condition." "What conditions do you have?" When Mo Chengtang heard that she had conditions, he couldn't help but show an unhappy look on his face. "If you have anything to say, just say it quickly." "Of course I will do whatever I can do. If you can't do it, there's no point in forcing it." "Don't worry, I won't ask you to give me money." Huang Beishan looked hurt, but still said pitifully, "I ask you to be my boyfriend for half a year, a real boyfriend, and not pretending." It was just such a small request. Mo Chengtang breathed a sigh of relief, and then said sternly, "I promise you." After hearing that the male idol in her mind agreed to her request, Huang Beishan cautiously leaned over and fortunately hugged the man she had been thinking about for many years. Lily didn't know the deal negotiated between the man and woman, otherwise she would have to spit out a mouthful of old blood. Once they agreed to be boyfriend and girlfriend in exchange for their hearts, Mo Chengtang naturally had to fulfill his obligations as a boyfriend. He started taking Huang Beishan out to play and picked her up after school every day. Even though Huang Beishan looked pretty, but her innocence, kindness, and cuteness gradually attracted Mo Chengtang. If he hadn't still had Beijia's company in his heart, he might not be able to help himself and really fall in love with this girl at this moment. "Brother Chengtang, is your fiancé really not in good health? Can you take me to have a look first?" Huang Beishan leaned in Mo Chengtang's arms. Half a year has passed now, like the god of death above her head. The sickle seemed to have drooped down a little. After being happy for 10 days, she finally remembered the task she had to do and decided to go see his fiancée first and have a good communication with her. Of course Mo Chengtang looked at Huang Beishan's innocent face. He wondered if beauty was in the eye of the beholder. The more he looked at Huang Beishan, the more he fell in love with her. Even her ordinary face could see her beauty. The two of them, when Huang Beishan thought about the possibility of being separated forever in the future, Huang Beishan thought that her boyfriend would be snatched away by that unknown fiancé, and that her heart would also be given to her. A wave of injustice, resentment, and self-pity surged over her. From the heart, she feels that the world is too unfair to her. The man she likes belongs to someone else. Now even her heart must belong to someone else. She must go and see what the legendary fiancé is like and whether she is worthy of her. The male god in my heart. When she thought of this, Huang Baishan felt as if the end of the world was coming. Her lips touched Mo Chengtang's face. The two were originally young men and women, and Mo Chengtang was at the age of impulsiveness, with a warm and soft fragrance. How could Yu Wei hold back? She took Huang Baishan's fragrant lips into her mouth and started sucking on them. Huang Baishan thought that her life might be lost anyway, so she might as well take this opportunity to send her out for the first time. Therefore, with the spirit of sacrifice and dedication, she twisted around Mo Chengtang, and the two people immediately rolled into a ball. Book lovers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Wan Erwr. Chapter 14. Looking at the pool of bright red left behind after the relationship, Mo Chengtang was moved. He didn't expect that Huang Baishan would give him the first time. He was so excited that he couldn't speak. Seeing Mo Chengtang's expression, Huang Baishan said shyly. He put on his clothes and whispered, "Brother Chengtang, I belong to you. Whether it's my body or my heart, I'm willing to do whatever you want." Mo Chengtang was so moved by the sentence that he pressed her under him again, followed by another burst of sports. At this moment, when the two of them were in love with each other, Bai's parents also became a little wary of Mo Chengtang after Lily's reminder. Although Bai's mother didn't want her promising son-in-law to be that kind of person, however, Bai's family had different identities, so no matter how much they believed, the couple still found someone to keep an eye on Mo Chengtang. After taking photos of him and that woman, Bai's father almost went crazy. My mother was also shocked and couldn't help but scolded Mo Chengtang and Huang Baishan, that shameless woman. Lily secretly laughed until her stomach knotted. Although Huang Baishan donated her heart in the end of the plot, Lily didn't sympathize with her at all. This woman was also a scumbag. She was so kind. Why did she know that she had a fiancé? Sometimes you have to intervene, saying that you need to understand the joy of being someone's girlfriend and feeling love before you die. It's hard to find three-legged toads in the world, but there aren't many two-legged men? What kind of single man doesn't want to marry someone else's fiancé? After he dies, he still shows that you have me in your heart and I have you in my heart. Isn't this a clear intention to let Mo Chengtang remember her for the rest of his life? Let Lily and Mo Chengtang have troubled relationships as a couple. If she was really as great as she showed, she wouldn't have caused so many things. Even after she died, Mo Chengtang would miss her all her life. In the end, Beijia was ruined. In fact, Huang Baishan won everything. She got the love she wanted, also broke up her prince and the prince's fiancé. Mo Chengtang finally treated Huang Baishan's parents as his own biological parents. Even if Huang Baishan died, her whole life would be worth it. No, I won't let them get it so cheap. Bai's father slapped the photo in his hand bitterly. Looking at his silent daughter, he began to feel distressed again. He wanted to comfort her, but for a moment he didn't know. How should I speak? So I winked at Beimu. Of course Beimu felt sorry for her daughter. Although she scolded Mo Chengtang and Huang Baishan as a couple in her heart, she still sat down next to her daughter. Ziahe, we don't want Mo Chengtang anymore. We don't believe it if your sick parents try to find a way for you. Now that medical technology is so advanced, your body won't be cured in the future. She didn't dare yet. When it comes to Mo Chengtang, these parents have seen how much Lily loved Mo Chengtang in the past, and they are afraid that Lily won't be able to stand it now. Bai's father and mother truly loved their daughter. There was worry in their eyes. Lily saw it and felt warm in her heart. She became more determined to protect Baijia and let the Mo family die. She patted Bai Mu's hand and pretended to be strong. "Mom, I'm fine. I definitely won't want the things that others have used. I'm just not willing to accept it. The Mo family has taken advantage of us. Mo Chengtang, if he doesn't like me and thinks I'm a burden, he can tell me directly, but he shouldn't hurt me in this way afterwards." Lily couldn't pretend anymore and simply threw herself into Bai Mu's arms, showing that he was too sad to speak. Bai's father, who was resentful at the side, quickly sat down next to his daughter, patted her on the back and said, "Dear daughter, don't worry, Dad will never let go of the Mo family. They have benefited from us so much in the past, but this time I want them thousands of dollars come back 100 times as much." Not long after Mo Chingtang's photo was seen by Baijia, Huang Baishan also made a request to visit Mo Chingtang's fiancée. The two have been dating to this point. Although the relationship between the two is not so deep that Mo Chengtang is willing to let Lily die for this girlfriend, at least after the two have such a close relationship, if there are some small requests, Mo Chengtang is still willing to satisfy them. He is now confident that even if he takes Huang Bai's hand to Lily, he will definitely not say anything. Then he will just tell Lily that Huang Bai's hand is the heart donor he has found for her. He believes that Lily is also afraid of death and wants to live. "Yes, once I heard that there was a chance of survival, even if I saw something was wrong, I would definitely turn a blind eye and pretend not to see it. What's more, the Bai family trusts him so much, and Lily has loved him beyond measure since she was a child. Mo Chengtang will never think about the fact that these people don't believe in him and want to find someone to check his situation." Because his recent interactions with Huang Baishan have made Mo Chengtang feel happy. This kind of happiness is different from what he felt before with Lily, a patient with congenital heart disease. He can have Huang Baishan anytime and anywhere, and her infatuation with him is a manifestation of her infatuation. She is very meek, unlike Lily, who loves herself no matter how much she loves herself, but because of her family background, she still has a naturally aloof expression. And because of her physical condition, she could not handle the affairs of men and women at all. She had been known as her fiancé for so long. In addition to kissing her face, Mo Chengtang never even kissed her on the mouth, for fear that she would not be able to breathe. "Come pass out." In comparison, being with Huang Baishan was of course much more interesting. Mo Chengtang had not been to the hospital to see Lily for more than half a month. Now that Huang Baishan mentioned that he wanted to see his fiancée, he remembered Lily and brought Huang Baishan with him. "When I went to the hospital, I was disappointed. The doctor told me that Lily had been discharged from the hospital more than a month ago." Mo Chengtang felt strange that Bai didn't even tell him that she was discharged from the hospital, and then took Huang Baishan to Baijia. After receiving the report from his servant that Mo Chengtang was here, Father Bai's face turned pale. Although his company was huge, so many things had happened recently, and he only had one precious daughter. He was afraid that her daughter would not be able to figure it out, so he took most of the money. He spends most of his time at home handling official duties and spending time with his daughter. Except for meetings, he almost never goes to the company. Even some small public discussions are hosted via video conference at home. "How dare this villain come here?" Bai's mother yelled. While she was angry, Bai's father still asked someone to bring Mo Chengtang in. Mo Chengtang was very unhappy at the moment. He was the uncle of the Mo family. He needed to be notified when he came to his future father-in-law's house. When he let Huang Baishan in, his face was a little ugly, and he told Father Bai, "Uncle, does the new guard at the door not recognize me? Book lovers are welcome to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, 1 ERWR. Chapter 15. Beifu didn't say anything. He just glanced at the petite figure behind Mo Changtang and asked directly, Changtang, let me ask you, who is this girl? What do you mean by bringing her here? Does she want to follow us? Will Jiaziahe break off the engagement? As soon as he heard this, Mo Changtang became anxious and shook his head quickly. What did my uncle say? How could I break off the engagement with Ziahe? This is the person I found for Ziahe who can match her heart in all aspects. Man, she said she wanted to meet Ziahe, so I brought her over to have a look. Because Lily had brainwashed her parents at the beginning, Beifu and Beimu were not as ecstatic as Mo Changtang imagined. Just when Mo Changtang was a little confused, Beifu said with a cold face. Donating a heart to our little boy. I don't think there's anything wrong with this girl. She's in good health. She doesn't have any medical conditions, right? Huang Baishan hunched her shoulders behind her, not daring to say a word. She was just a girl from an ordinary family. It was her first time to enter a truly wealthy family like Beijia. The mansion that occupied an extremely large area and the maids and servants who served here were all, it made her feel ashamed. At this moment, she was so overwhelmed by Beifu's momentum that she couldn't hold her head up, and she looked a bit timid and cowardly. No, Mo Changtang didn't expect Beifu to say such words, and was immediately surprised. He had seen the love that this couple had for their daughter over the years, and he just wished he could hold Lily in his mouth and hold it in his palms. Because he loved Lily so much, he also loved his future son-in-law. Mo Changtang was very supportive of the Mo family. He didn't expect that the couple would be so calm after knowing that their daughter's body had great hope of getting a heart transplant. Since she is healthy, how could she, a normal living person, donate a heart to my daughter? Beifu's anger, which he had suppressed for a long time, finally burst out. He sneered at Mo Changtang, I think you are in love with this woman. In order to deliberately confuse us, she said nonsense that she was going to donate a heart to our Ziahe, and in order to confuse us, she didn't know what she was planning behind the scenes. Baimu sneered silently at the side. Mo Changtang was stunned by this completely unexpected development of the plot. He quickly wanted to explain, Uncle and Aunt, you misunderstood. I am with Ziahe growing up, Ziahe knows me best. I don't know, Lily's health has improved a lot now. Although her body still looks a little weak on the outside, she is no longer out of breath like before and her heart is in severe pain. She lies on the sofa, holding the freshly brewed health tea handed over by the butler, sipping on it, and watching the excitement. What a good Mo Changtang, what a Mo family, Beifu laughed, but his eyes were very unkind. You are treating me as a fool, right? You grew up with Ziahe, and you dare to do it behind her back. I'm sorry regarding her matter, Mo Changtang, do you think that I, the father, am dead? Uncle, absolutely not. How could I do such a thing? She really wants to donate a heart to Ziahe. No matter how powerful Mo Changtang is in the plot, he is just a useless person at this moment. He was only a 20-year-old boy with insufficient experience and determination. Now he was beginning to panic under Beifu's deliberate pressure. Huang Baishan behind him couldn't stand the way her idol was being forced by Beifu, so she quickly said, Uncle, I really want to donate my heart to Brother Changtang's fiancée. There really is such a weird thing in the world who would rather die for love. Lily's face was covered with blood. At this moment, her eyes were finally opened. The corners of her mouth twitched. Watching Huang Baishan cry and cry, it showed how determined she was to die for her. He was so determined that he finally couldn't help but laugh. It's a pity that Bai's father and Bai's mother had already preconceived the idea that Mo Changtang had bad intentions. In addition, they had seen photos of him and Huang Baishan first. Now, even if he was talking nonsense and making extravagant claims, Bai's family would not be able to do anything about it. If you don't believe him, let alone your father and mother. Even some of the servants around him show disbelief and contempt. As expected of an old fox, Beifu directly interrupted Huang Beishan's tearful words. Since you are so determined, how about I call the doctor to come to my home right now and let you do the surgery right away? Beifu revealed his face. She looked like she was lying if she didn't do the surgery right away, which made Huang Beishan cry with anxiety. Mo Changtang was also anxious. He had made an appointment with Huang Beishan to be her boyfriend for half a year. How much time had just passed now? Huang Beishan regretted it and told her about their relationship. Now, 100 parents and 100 mothers, if you already don't believe him, if you know about that matter, shouldn't you think that he deliberately used it to deceive the Bai family? Thinking of Beijia's subsidiary company that he had not yet acquired, Mo Changtang wanted to bleed. He explained for a long time. The more he explained, the more panicked he became. The more panicked he became, the more Beifu thought he had something up his sleeve. In the end, she didn't even want to listen to what he said anymore, so she interrupted him directly. Okay, don't talk anymore. In the past, the matter between you and Ziahe was treated as if you were young and ignorant. Let it go and don't mention it again. After he said this, he clearly saw that he was following Mo Changtang. Huang Beishan's face showed a look of surprise, because she had seen photos of them together before, and now Beifu was more and more convinced that Mo Changtang was not a thing, and looked very displeased at him. Go back by yourself, don't do it again. Just half a step into our Beijiaman. Uncle Bai. Mo Changtang was anxious and called out the title he used when he was very close to Baijia many years ago. In recent years, he has become more energetic and has the intention of winning Baijia. He has a strong self-esteem and does not want people to think that his future success and prosperity are due to Baijia, so he uses a relatively unfamiliar way of calling Beifu and Beimu. In the past, Beifu was too kind to him and did not go there at all. I thought about other places, now that I had doubts about Mo Changtang, and heard his different shoutings with my own ears, I became more and more disgusted with him, and directly waved my hand. You don't have to say anything anymore, I don't want to hear it either. Fortunately, her daughter saw the true face of this boy from the Mo family clearly before she got married. Otherwise, if Lily really married Mo Changtang, she would have died early because of his troubles. The more Beifu thought about it, the angrier he became, and he was about to call someone over to drive Mo Changtang and the two out. At this juncture, Huang Beishan didn't care, and suddenly took a few steps towards Lily, who was leaning on the sofa. Just when Bai Mu thought she was going to hurt her daughter, Huang Beishan made a pop and knelt heavily on the ground. Go down. Book lovers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Wan Erwr. Chapter 16. Although the floor of Baijia is covered with wooden floors, due to the weather, there is no thick carpet yet. Now Huang Beishan knelt down, and just listening to the sound could make people feel how much pain she had. Beimu was stunned. After a pause, Lily started laughing. Ms. Huang, I'm not dead yet. Why are you kowtowing to me? She didn't feel any hatred towards Huang Beishan. Knowing the ending, she also had no sympathy for her. After all, she had to die for a man. It was Huang Beishan's own choice to become the cinnabar mole on his chest when people's memories are deepest. Lily herself did not force her. In fact, even if this young lady died in the end, in Lily's view, she was not what a good person. Even knowing that Mo Changtang has a fiancé, she still offers to be his girlfriend for half a year. This alone is enough to make Lily look down on her. As long as a normal woman has upright views, I'm afraid she couldn't do such a thing, not to mention that Huang Beishan was so stupid that she was willing to sacrifice her life to fulfill love, which made Lily look even more incredible. She didn't understand this kind of thing from the beginning, so naturally she was very concerned about Huang Beishan kneeling in front of her at this moment. There is no trace of mood swings at all. Ziahe, why are you so cruel? When Mo Changtang saw Lily's cold behavior, he couldn't believe that this was the obedient Lily in his mind who never resisted at all in front of him. It had been so long since she had just come in, and she had been taught a lesson by her parents for not giving face for so long. Lily was just watching from the side, with no intention of saying anything good for her. Mo Changtang was a little anxious just now and didn't expect this. A little bit, now that I think about it, I feel a little unhappy. Shan Shan, she didn't care about her own safety and donated her heart to you. How could you watch her kneeling in front of you? In contrast, Huang Baishan was obedient to him and could not help but enjoy the two of them. Being at his mercy gave Mo Changtang a taste of what it was like to be a man, and he felt a little different about Huang Baishan. If Beifu and Beimu hadn't made things difficult for him today, I'm afraid he might not have completely swayed to Huang Baishan's side. But with what Beifu and Beimu said before, Mo Changtang felt more and more about the girl kneeling in front of Lily. Somewhat endearing. I have a bad heart, so I don't dare to shout in excitement, unless you came here on purpose today to force me to pass out. Lily glanced coldly at Huang Baishan who was kneeling in front of her, thinking of the two men and women fighting each other. In the name of donating their hearts, they got together openly in the end. Huang Baishan died, and Mo Changtang didn't end up well for himself after getting Beijia. It seemed that these two people were a little depressed. Ms. Huang, I don't think you two need to do some shameful things for my sake. I don't need your heart, and I don't want the heart of a living person. If it gets spread, people will. What do you say about our Beijia? Since you like Mo Changtang, I will help you. I don't want Mo Changtang anymore, so I'll give it to you. Lily's memory left behind said that she knew that Mo Changtang was a person with strong self-esteem. At this moment, he deliberately spoke again. Miss Huang has spent so much effort and finally has Mo Changtang in her arms. It should feel good. Upon hearing this, Mo Changtang's expression changed. Huang Baishan was stunned for a moment, then shook her head and choked up, Miss Bai, I didn't mean that. I really want to donate my heart to you. No one is truly not afraid of death. Huang Baishan has always been supported by the belief that her life will fulfill the love between herself and Mo Changtang, and she restrains herself by convincing herself every day like a hypnosis. Now that she had felt that fear, first she was trembling with fear when Beifo said that she would cut out her heart on the spot, and now Lily said that she should not donate her heart. She couldn't help but feel relieved, but thinking about herself and regarding Mo Changtang's matter, he felt a little guilty now. She was so confident before that she even dared to say that she would come to see his fiancée after dating Mo Changtang, but she only dared to do so because she wanted to sacrifice her life for her livelihood. She thought Lily was asking for something. My own, I think I am standing above, so I dare to do this. But now Lily actually said that she didn't want her heart. While she breathed a sigh of relief, she felt a little guilty when she thought about herself and Mo Changtang. Ziahe, don't be willful. Mo Changtang was startled, and then a little panicked. His thoughts were similar to Huang Baishan's. He also relied on himself to find a heart for Lily, thinking that she must want to live no matter what. That's why he dared to agree to Huang Baishan's request. In fact, although Huang Baishan's appearance is not outstanding, as a man, after knowing that a woman is willing to sacrifice her life for him, and the last request is just to date him, this kind of no man can refuse feelings. The kind of humble love offered by a woman can make every man proudly accept it, and he is no exception. Originally, it was a good thing to be able to take over the property of hundreds of families after enjoying the blessings of everyone. From the beginning, he was completely thinking about Lily. But now it is a fact that he is dating Huang Baishan. If Lily does not accept Huang Baishan's heart, then he originally had good intentions for Lily, but now he is seen as having ulterior motives. No wonder Beifu was so angry just now. My daughter, You don't need to teach me a lesson. The more Beifu looked at Mo Changtang, the more he felt that he was nothing. Now he saw the woman he brought and dared to anger his daughter. Hearing the meaning in his daughter's words, looking at Huang Beihan's eyes, there was a bit of murderous intent. Ms. Huang, I hope you won't try to curse my daughter and anger me with some actions. Believe me, you will never be able to bear that kind of result. Father Bai suppressed his anger and saw Huang Beihan's confused look. He asked his servants to drag her up. He didn't notice Huang Beihan, but he didn't want her to make Lily feel unhappy. At this moment, Father Bai picked up the stack of overturned photos on the table and threw them towards Mo Changtang. Originally, considering our previous relationship, there are some things that I am not prepared to break up with and let everyone know about. It doesn't look good. Since you dare to bring a woman to show off in front of us, I don't think I have to save any face for you. The stack of photos flew up, and some of them hit Mo Changtang's face, but at this moment Mo Changtang but he didn't dare to cry out for pain. He suppressed the humiliation in his heart, reached out and grabbed a few photos that slid down his face, and looked at them a few times. Book lovers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Cannon Fodder Strategy. Author, Wan Erwr. Chapter 17. Although the scenery in the photo was a bit blurry, his and Huang Beihan's faces were still recognizable. What's more, Mo Changtang himself remembered the first few times when he and Huang Beihan were intimate. He knew clearly in his heart that these photos were not fake. Although Mo Changtang is still a little clever at this moment, he is still not very old after all. Even if he can make some disguises, he can still pretend that he can't get home. Beifu still sees it, and he is even more concerned about the Mo family. A bit resentful. What else do you have to say? Huang Beihan also saw the photo on the ground, screamed, and quickly reached out to pick it up. She is a conservative girl, and even the servants in the house did not look at her at this moment. Yes, but she still felt as if she had been stripped naked and thrown into the sun. Her face was hot, tears were rolling in her eyes, and she was trembling to pick up these photos. So Miss Huang, don't coax me with your talk of changing my daughter's heart. In my lifetime, I have seen many scheming women like you. Your heart is as high as the sky and your destiny is as thin as paper. I have taken a fancy to the wealth of the Mo family and want to catch a big fish like Mo Changtang. Unfortunately, whether his fish is big or not depends on my consent. Now that the Mo family has nothing to do with me, many of them should be ours. I want to take back the property, but you made the wrong calculation. Father Bai gave this woman a disgusted look. If this matter hadn't involved his daughter, such a woman wouldn't even be worthy of talking to him. I. Huang Beihan also saw the suspicion and gloominess in Mo Changtang's eyes. Once Mo Changtang confirmed what happened today, she would probably never be able to turn around again in her life. In just these short time together, Huang Beihan understood the male god in her heart much better than she had secretly observed at the beginning. She knew Mo Changtang's proud and sensitive temperament, and now she was so anxious that her mouth was on fire, but the more anxious she became, the more she could not say a word. At this moment, Mo Changtang had indeed begun to doubt. He thought of Huang Beihan's proposal to date him, and he couldn't help but start to wonder if she had her own agenda. Huang Beihan couldn't deny this, even if it was her. She does want to donate her heart to Lily, but she does have her own plan, that is, she wants her love to go through a perfect process, but no one will believe this. The Mo family is a businessman, and the Mo family is a businessman. Changtang naturally would not believe that there were such stupid people in the world. He still doesn't have a deep love for Huang Beihan like he did later in the plot. In the end, Huang Beihan's act of self-sacrifice made this love even more unforgettable. But nothing has happened yet, so although there is affection between the two people, the affection is not that deep. Huang Baihan's behavior made Mo Changtang suspicious. Not to mention that the Bai family didn't believe it, but now he also started to have some doubts. Huang Baihan approached his goal. Although the Mo family is not as good as Beijia, a company that can rank among the top 10 in the country in terms of net worth, it is still a top-notch existence in the city. He himself is good-looking, and some women will like him, Mo Changtang. It's not strange for him. Although Huang Baihan's family can't be said to be poor, they are not very wealthy. If Huang Baihan wants to turn a sparrow into a phoenix, it is not strange for him to have his idea. What's more, during the period of time when he and Huang Baihan were dating, Mo Changtang he also knew that Huang Baihan was obsessed with him. In the past, he only felt that his face was greatly satisfied, but now when he became suspicious, he couldn't help but feel that Huang Baihan was planning on him. Shan, is what Uncle Bai said true? Mo Changtang asked with a gloomy face and a cold snort. Huang Baihan couldn't help but shook her head. She knelt on the ground, her expression looking fragile and helpless. Brother Changtang, you know me, how could I do such a thing? Since the two of them started dating, Huang Baihan's gentleness and kindness have emerged in Mo Changtang's heart. As soon as his expression moved, Lily already smiled. Brother Changtang? How old are you, Miss Huang? How do I remember that you and Mo Changtang are in the same grade? Yes, and yours is the same age as him, but your background seems to be 3 months older than his, right? Huang Baihan's information had already been checked out by Beijia after she got together with Mo Changtang. Mo Changtang's birthday is in July, while Huang Baihan's birthday is on April Fool's Day in April. Although he is not much older than Mo Changtang, he really shouldn't be called Brother Mo Changtang based on his age. Everyone was stunned, even Huang Baihan herself was stunned for a moment, and then her cheeks turned red. In an instant, the passion she had just created suddenly became a little embarrassing. She really never thought that Prince Charming, who was like an idol in her mind, would be younger than herself. She was similar to most girls in the world. She hoped that the other half of her dreams would be a person who is graceful and elegant. He was just a little older than herself. It was best to love her boyfriend like a brother. But she didn't expect that Mo Changtang was younger than herself. Huang Baihan thought that she had called him Brother Changtang for who knows how long before. Such a title was both intimate and romantic, but when Lily said it, Huang Baihan's face started to burn. Bai Mu sneered, feeling a little irritated when she saw the two people in front of her. You should leave quickly, our Bai family doesn't welcome you. If it weren't for the fear that her daughter would feel sad, Bai Mu would have asked someone to turn Mo into a child. The two of them fought and scolded him severely. Mo Changtang still wanted to struggle, but the Bai family no longer gave him a chance to speak, so they pushed him out with half invitation and half threat. Uncle, I really didn't. I was deceived. When I think about the possibility that I will no longer be Beijia's consort in the future, Beijia is a company that I have been coveting for a long time and considers it to be a very promising company. It is possible that he will leave him from now on. Mo Changtang was young and restless at the moment. When he thought that his bright future would be gone because of Huang Baihan's conspiracy, he panicked and was pushed out. While shouting loudly, I really don't, Lily, Zia, you have to believe me. Believe me, you idiot. Lily rolled her eyes and leaned obediently into Madame Bai's arms. Because of this incident, Beijia and Magia successfully terminated their contract. Beifu started to suppress Magia heavily in anger. Soon, under Beijia's exclusion, Magia's company began to be unable to support it. Book lovers are welcome to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan Erwr. Chapter 18. They used to rely on Beijia to develop to where they are today, but now Bafo stabbed them in the back, and Mo's enterprise, which was very famous in the city for a while, began to collapse. The Mo family led Mo Chengtang and wanted hundreds of families to apologize, but they were driven back without even seeing Lily's face. The Mo family soon collapsed, and the perfect love in Huang Baihan's dream never came true. Without Lily giving her the opportunity to devote herself to love, she became a conspiracy in Mo Chengtang's mind. The woman, and the Mo family was in such a state now. Mo Chengtang already hated her to death. How could he still love her as much as in the plot? Huang Baihan was quickly dumped by Mo Chengtang, but unfortunately, she got pregnant while having an intimate relationship with Mo Chengtang, and the fact that she stole someone's boyfriend had already spread throughout the school. She couldn't stay any longer. When she returned home, her parents found out that she didn't love herself and even used her body as a bet for love. They were very unforgiving of her. No matter from which aspect, Huang Baihan's parents have not forgiven her. Originally, her body, hair and skin were affected by her parents, but if this daughter really dies, forget it. After all, death is like a light going out. All the bad things about her will be erased by the sad parents, and all the good things will be written down. So when Huang Baihan died in the plot, her parents did not blame her, but missed her very much. And now that she is not dead, her parents will naturally not forget her mistake. Taking the life that her parents worked so hard to give her for a man, her parents have never been able to figure it out. What's more, Wang's father and Wang's mother thought that they only had such a daughter. She selfishly died for a man, and never thought about the pain that once she died, the two of them would have white hair and black hair. The more they thought about it, the angrier they became. When Wang's father and Wang's mother saw their pregnant daughter, they kicked her out angrily. Huang Baihan still loves love first. She did not abort the child in her belly, but gave birth to him. She was only a teenager, had not even graduated from high school, and had a big belly. The company would take in such a useless person, and she didn't bring much money with her. Only many kind-hearted people saw her giving some charity from time to time, and when she was thirsty, she drank from the free drinking water stations built for citizens in the squares on the roadside. When I was hungry, I bought some bread and instant noodles to eat, and when I was tired at night, I slept in the park. This miserable life lasted for more than 7 months. Finally, with the sympathy of kind-hearted people, Huang Baihan gave birth to a boy when they sent her to the hospital. Holding her son in her arms, Huang Baihan burst into tears. It's just that in the ending of ordinary novels, the happy ending where the heroine and the hero reunite after many years of misunderstanding does not appear here. The Mo family collapsed. In order to avoid the attacks of hundreds of families, the Mo family went abroad. After re-emerging, Mo Chengtang has married another person. Faced with the heavy reality, the love in Huang Baihan's dream is destined to become an empty dream. Lily's body is not as weak as she appears, but Bai's father and mother still regard their daughter as a treasure. Because of Mo Chengtang's incident, even though the Bai family was a little anxious that there would be no heir, they never forced Lily to get married. When I gave birth to a child, I was afraid that my daughter's body would not be able to bear the burden, so I always took care of her carefully. Under such circumstances, no matter how hard-hearted Lily was, she couldn't help but start trying to talk to that mysterious existence every day. She tried thinking hard about that person many times when no one was around, and she also had a conversation by herself in the room. She tried many times. She finally succeeded when her body was almost 25 years old. Is something wrong? When the cold voice sounded in her mind, Lily finally breathed a sigh of relief and quickly put forward her request. Beijia treats me well. My current parents are not very old. I would like to ask, can you give them a chance to have another child? She was not going to get married and have children in this time and space. Lily could only feel very sorry for the expectations of Bai father and Bai mother. After thinking about it, She could only let by father and by mother have another child. A child got this idea. However, although Bai's father and Bai's mother were in good health, the strange thing was that they had no other children except Lily for many years. Lily had no choice but to come to this mysterious figure who could allow her to survive. She didn't know why. Just knowing that he can find a way. Okay, the cold voice paused, and before Lily wanted to ask, he continued, but you need to pay a certain price. Now that she has reached the point where she is now, Lily doesn't think there is any price she can't pay other than letting her die, so she only hesitated for a moment and nodded, I am willing. Half a quarter of an hour later, the sound no longer sounded, but Lily didn't know when she held something like a soft capsule in her hand. She didn't have this in her hand before. Although she didn't know when she got it, she didn't need to think about it now, and she knew that it was the mysterious existence that gave it to her. Lily found an opportunity to pierce the capsule, and put some of the liquid inside into the water that Bai's father and Bai's mother drank. After more than a month, Bai's mother's always sad face showed a rare smile of surprise. She was already confirmed to be pregnant. This news made Bai's father happy for a long time, and the problem of lack of heirs that troubled the Bai family was solved. After the relationship matured, Bai Mu gave birth to a boy. I don't know if the reason for the birth of this younger brother was related to Lily. His favorite since he was a child was Lily, his sister who was weak in his mind. Bai Mu's father and Bai Mu were still very fond of Lily. After the younger brother grew up, he quickly got married and had children under the expectations of his parents, and adopted the eldest son into Lily's name. Lily has never been married in her life. Although her body looks weak on the surface, this body is actually her own foundation. Although it may not be very good, it is not particularly bad. In this life, she thought about the regrets she had in her previous life and the wishes she had not yet had time to fulfill, but she accomplished them all. It was not until she passed away after serving hundreds of fathers and mothers that she lived a plain and peaceful life. At this time, under the leadership of his younger brother, the Baishi group has become stronger than before. When the sister who was like a princess from 100 families and was loved very much by the younger brother who was the current head of the family passed away, his younger brother rented out Daifuku ads for 2 days in every city in the country to remember Lily. Book lovers are welcome to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan Erwr. Chapter 19. Seeing the life history of the legendary Lucky Darling on TV, Huang Baishan is currently doing cleaning business in a department store building. Her son has reached middle age, but he is living an extremely painful life at the moment. An ordinary life supporting his family has become a heavy burden on his shoulders. Like every ordinary to middle-aged man, he is running for life. He did not inherit his father's handsome appearance, nor did he get his family background as a proud son. Huang Baishan had always wanted to maintain her love in the early years, but in the end her dream lost to reality. After she reached middle age, when her son wanted to study, she, a woman with no diploma, no good background, and no good looks, finally couldn't survive and still married a man who was widowed early but was raising his son alone. Life is not very happy, it can only be said that it is the same as that of most women in the world, but the unwillingness and regret in Huang Baishan's heart have become a thorn in her heart. Every time she thinks of herself at such a beautiful age, it ended up like this. The life of the princess on TV was still playing. Huang Baishan thought of the smiling girl she had seen back then of her stolen love, of her colorful life, and then of herself. The same age as her, but in order to make his son's life easier, he can give him more subsidies. Even at this age, he is still cleaning in the mall and looking at people's faces. Because she was pregnant at an early age and gave birth to a child, she was poor at school and had no diploma. Later, she suffered in everything. Not only was the love she dreamed of unable to come true, but her subsequent life became even more poverty-stricken and low income. Even her parents really gave up on her. In this life she was truly ruined. At the same time, Mo Chengtang, who had immigrated abroad for decades, was now very old and extremely ill. After marrying the daughter of a local wealthy businessman for the Mo family decades ago, he had been living with his wife. Under the shadow of his wife, he was a strong and domineering person. Because the Mo family relied on his wife's natal family, he was always looked down upon by his wife and became a well-known local hemp governor. He lived a life of humiliation like this. Until he was about to close his eyes, he seemed to think of the gentle and well-behaved fiancée he had many years ago when he was high-spirited. Although the fiancée was not in good health, she was docile and obedient. The wealth of Beigia was better than that of his current wife's natal family. He said, "I don't know how many times it was better." He should have been the prince consort of hundreds of families, living a life of luxury, cars, mansions, and beauties, instead of the years of heartache that had accumulated in his chest becoming his talisman. When did he lose the girl whose image should have faded in his memory long ago, and also lose the huge family fortune? Amidst all the regrets, Mo Chengtang thought of everything that happened back then and closed his eyes. In the dark starry sky, Lily had returned to this space the moment she closed her eyes. The taste of death seemed to still linger in her throat, making her somewhat breathless. In fact, she has died twice. Logically speaking, this feeling should not be unfamiliar, but because she lived for too long in the plot, this death gave her a taste of death again. This mission was originally completed well, but because you asked for pills once, I can give you two choices. A voice that had not been heard for decades rang in Lily's ears again. "It's too long to live." Lily calmed down before responding. "Yes, please tell me." Lily had already expected such a result, so she was not surprised at all. The voice was very satisfied with her knowledge. After a burst of distortion of the starlight in the space, it combined the stars in the sky to form a lamp-like halo, illuminating the entire space. The place where Lily's information used to appear suddenly seemed like something was thrown into the water, and a figure appeared next to it after ripples. It was a tall young man about 25 years old, wearing a brocade robe and a jade crown, with a very handsome and cold face. His sudden appearance surprised Lily, and it took a long time to calm down. "You did a good job. I can give you two options. One is to double the reward for you this time, but I will let you enter in advance for tasks that you were not supposed to do this time," he said with a very thin lips. He pursed his lips, and while the pointed chin made his appearance more handsome, it also revealed the coldness of his face. "The other one is that the mission originally prepared for you remains unchanged, but the reward is cancelled. As the saying goes, wealth can be found in danger." Lily didn't know what kind of punishment she would get if her mission failed. She hesitated for a while and then asked, "Can I ask, what will happen if my mission fails? What kind of punishment is there?" A pair of slender, sharp eyes of the young man with a jade crown and brocade robe and a cold face fell on Lily's face, and his extremely thin lips moved. "I will only give you the chance to fail once. If you fail this time, the reward will be not only does it not happen, but there is no chance of failure the next time." Lily's heart tightened, and she understood the meaning of his words, but her voice was a little harsh. "Then what if I don't want this reward, but directly carry out the next task that was originally assigned to me?" Although there was no physical body at this moment, but years of human experience still made her feel like there was a layer of sweat in her palms. "Then, the next mission failure will be your last mission life." After getting the expected answer, Lily was surprised and felt a little bitter at the same time. There are so many ways to survive after death. If a person is willing to be selected by the man in front of him for the so-called mission, he should not worry about not having a candidate at all, and I don't know if it is because he is satisfied with his knowledge, as he said before that he told himself so much. In fact, Lily has no so-called right to choose at all. Carrying out a difficult task will give her one more chance of failure. If she succeeds, it is equivalent to earning more means to save her life. After failure, there will be no loss at all like now. I want to carry out the mission of early entry. She did not hesitate this time. When the handsome man with the cold face heard this, he looked at her deeply. Although his expression did not change, his tone softened a lot. "You are really smart. I almost can't bear to see you fail." He said this in a flat, cold tone, which made Lily smile bitterly. Book lovers are welcome to come and read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Cannon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan Erwr. Chapter 20. Although I will still give you a task that is currently difficult for you, I decided to give you a good opportunity. After saying this, the tall figure gradually disappeared into the starry sky. The stars above the head flickered for a while, then returned to their original positions, and where the handsome man had appeared, her information flashed again. Gender, female, variable. Name, Lily. Age, 21. Intelligence, 47, out of 100. Appearance, 58, out of 100. Physical strength, 56, 100 full points. Force, 9, out of 100. Skills, none. Specialties, none. Charisma, 18, out of 100. Because you have chosen a difficult task, I have decided to give you a special treatment. The cold voice that Lily thought would never be heard again sounded again, and then said, "All your attribute values, I can give you a chance to regroup and return you after this mission is completed." These words really surprised Lily. She didn't expect that the mysterious and handsome man would give her such an opportunity. Although at first glance, it seemed that such a request was of no use at all, as it only replaced her own attributes. It was just worth it, but Lily was really surprised that he could give herself such an extra chance. "Thank you," she thanked her excitedly first, and then remembered her so-called difficult mission this time. Since this mysterious man said that this mission should not have been done by herself, it proved that this mission was very difficult in the first place. It is difficult, no matter what the mission is this time, but the first and most important thing is to ensure that you survive. As long as you live, you have a chance to complete the mission. In the last mission, she was able to live safely until old age, which proved that the mission has no time limit. When Lily saw her information on the light board, apart from appearance and physical strength, she only had slightly higher intelligence. Her appearance was already not very good. Although it said that 100 points was a perfect score, but according to the rules she knew in the past, if 100 points was a perfect score and 60 points was a pass, her appearance was actually not good enough. Passed. Lily also knows this in her heart. Sometimes having a good appearance can bring certain convenience to herself, so Lily is not prepared to change it in terms of appearance. The only thing that can change is to work hard on intelligence. At present, Lily has not found any impact on the task due to the level of intelligence, and the force column is too low. She thought for a while and said, "I want to exchange 10 points of intelligence and 16 points of physical strength for force." The man seemed very surprised that Lily made a decision so quickly. He paused before speaking, "You satisfy me very much, and I have decided to give you a preferential treatment." This is not the first time that the handsome man has said this. As soon as he finished speaking, Lily's eyes were distorted for a while, and the familiar dizziness when entering the plot came to her mind again. When she woke up from the dizziness, her ears only heard a soft and strange voice saying, "It's too late for you to kneel down and kowtow now." The voice flashed by like a gust of wind. Before she had time to feel how her body was, she was involuntarily carried forward by her body and ran a few steps forward, crashing into a tall and strong man. But in his chest, which was filled with the fragrance of powder, his back suddenly felt as if someone had splashed water on it. He felt a little cold at first, and then a sharp pain came over him. His brain, which was still a little drowsy, was suddenly stimulated and followed. When I woke up, the feeling that I just couldn't control my body slowly disappeared. Little junior sister, a somewhat frightened and angry male voice rang out. After Lily's body was in severe pain, she was roughly hugged by the man in front of her, who wants you to meddle in other people's business. While she was sweating profusely, she saw a handsome man with a hint of coldness and evil aura, who was impatiently embracing her in his arms. He put one hand around her waist and held her with the other. Now he was holding a long sword. After 2 chuffs, the top of the long sword was already bright red. Seeing such an intense scene as soon as she arrived, coupled with the burning pain in her back that she didn't know what happened just now, Lily finally couldn't hold it back and fell into the young man's arms. When she woke up again, she was already half hugged in someone's arms, and her body was bumping and stumbling. As soon as she opened her eyes, the hand on her waist had already been retracted, and she almost lost her body when she tilted her body. He stretched out his hand and hooked it around the young man's neck. "Are you awake?" a soft male voice sounded. When Lily opened her eyes, she saw that the sky had darkened, the stars were bright and the moon was shining brightly above her head. She was being held in the arms of the soft young man she had seen before and was sitting on a horse. After seeing her situation clearly, Lily was about to sit up when the man pushed her on her vest without any courtesy. If she hadn't grabbed the saddle in time, she might have fallen off the horse. At this moment, the horse was galloping. If it fell to the ground, half of its life would be lost even if it didn't die. Lily suppressed the anger in her heart, and the wounds on her back and body started to hurt again. "Now that you're awake, just sit calmly and obediently." The man was silent for a while, and then he said something coldly to Lily, shook the reins with both hands, and gave a light drink, and the horse started running quickly again. A large amount of information poured out of her mind, and Lily resisted the pain in her head. After about half a quarter of an hour, she finished sorting out the plot that poured out, and she no longer knew what to say. This time the handsome man in the starry sky did give her an excellent opportunity. At least the plot she entered was a story that most Chinese people are familiar with. This time she entered a novel called Swordsman, and the person she transformed into this time was Yu Lingshan, who appeared early in the novel, but also died early. Most people in Swordsman are familiar with it, and of course Lily also knows that Yu Lingshan is a tragic character. Although Yu Lingshan died in the end, she did not hate the person who killed her before she died, which made Lily think about this time. The task became a little confusing. The plot has now entered after she and Lin Pingzi got married. Thinking of this, Lily shivered all over, thinking of the person she had just seen who was so beautiful that he did not look like a man, and also thought of the high-pitched voice when he spoke just now. With tears streaming down his face, he said tentatively, "Brother Ping." The man driving the horse laughed, and then said in a dark voice, "Is the wound better?" He did not deny it, which proved that this was indeed Lin Pingzi. When she thought of this, Lily trembled, smiled bitterly and fell silent. Book lovers are welcome to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original. Canon Fodder Strategy. Author, Juan ERWR. Chapter 21. After I've taken care of some of the bugs at the back, I'll take you to clean up the wound. Lin Pingzi paused. The reason why he practiced the evil-proof sword manual was that Lily knew that he had already swung his sword from the palace at this time, and took the photo. Judging from the world in this plot, people who practice this martial arts will become neither male nor female, have a shrill voice and behave like a woman. Lin Pingzi's voice is a bit feminine, and Lily is calm and unhurried. Some of the hairs on my body stood on end, but I didn't know what to say. Looking at the scene between the two of them at this time, although Lin Pingzi still had a few words to say to her, they were not affectionate. It can be seen that even if the plot is either before Yu Lingshan's death, or it is already before she is about to die, it stands to reason that she said that she had experienced 2 missions and lived for such a long time in her last life. Even if she was very surprised by the plot now, she shouldn't be speechless. "Why did you save me today?" Lily became quiet, and Lin Pingzi asked. Hearing this, Lily couldn't help but smile bitterly. The last memory she had of Yu Lingshan was when she saw the fight between Yu Kanghai and Mu Jiaofeng in Linping, and saw Mu Jiaofeng's back being pierced, and the poisonous water when he sprayed it towards Lin Pingzi. He subconsciously rushed towards him, pushed him away and blocked the blast of venom. But when Lin Pingzi asked her why she wanted to save him, Lily thought of Yu Lingshan's feelings for Lin Pingzi in the plot and said, "You are my husband, shouldn't there be a reason for saving you?" Her voice was broken when she spoke. The wounds on her back and the wounds left after the fight with Yu Kanghai in her previous memories ached, making her face turn pale. "Sharp. That's nice." Lin Pingzi stared at her face halfway, his expression uncertain. His hand was around Lily's waist, and Lily could feel his fingers shrinking and finally holding still on her waist. Just at this moment, the hair on Lily's back stood up. At that moment, she clearly felt something called murderous intent. "Your father is a hypocrite." Back then, a sinister smile appeared on Lin Pingzi's face. He used to have a face as white as jade, but now his eyebrows and eyes were full of violence, giving people a chilling look when he smiled. As for Sushigan, his voice was shrill. He narrowed his eyes and revealed murderous intent in the middle of the sentence. He drew out the long sword from his waist and pointed towards the middle of the forest on the right. "Who is this friend? Come out quickly. Otherwise my sword will not have eyes." After he finished speaking, there was no movement in the grass at all. Lin Pingzi smiled coldly, pulled off the jade pendant hanging on his waist and threw it in the direction he pointed. After a strong wind blew, he came out of the grass a moment later. A beautiful girl came out. Lily's memory turned around and she couldn't help but shout, "Miss Ren." This was none other than Ying Ying, the famous female director of swordsmen. She had followed Lin Pingzi and Lily at some point. She had heard a lot of what they had just said. Lin Pingzi's eyes showed a sinister look, but he whispered softly, "Miss Ren is following you all the way, but what advice can you give me?" "I don't take it as advice. It's just that Miss Yu is your wife, and in order to save you from injury, you treated her so poorly." At this time, her movements had been discovered, and Ren Yingying had no intention of hiding it anymore. But walked out calmly, "If you had no intention of Miss Yu, why did you marry her in the first place and waste her life?" Lin Pingzi's eyes showed murderous intent, but he smiled and said, "My wife, why do you need to cause trouble? I'm afraid there is someone else behind you who is instigating this." After he said this, Lily keenly felt the murderous intent in his eyes again, and couldn't help but feel annoyed at Ren Yingying's provocation. "I don't know how long this girl has been following behind and eavesdropping. She is very skilled in martial arts and has a quick mind. She also pays more attention to Yu Lingshan, the love rival for Ling Huchang." At this moment, even if Lily is not the original owner, when she sees Ren Yingying's body instinctively, I felt a bit embarrassed. "What are you talking about?" Ren Yingying glared at Lin Ping angrily. Ever since she saw Lin Ping, she felt that something was very wrong with him. Not only his martial arts skills, but also his mannerisms were different from those of the one she was waiting for. There is some resemblance to the proprietor Booby who was a personal killer. Later, I saw that he was indifferent to his new wife Yu Lingshan, and I was already a little suspicious in my heart. Unfortunately, I didn't hear anything useful before. Now, he then heard that Lin Pingzi had something to say about Ling Huchang, so he blurted out, "You have a ghost in your heart, so you suspect that everyone is the same as you." Because of the pounce before Yu Lingshan disappeared when Lily came over today, the injuries that Lin Pingzi should have suffered had already been borne by him. At this moment, he did not look like he was blind and in need of care in the original work. After hearing this, when Ren Yingying meant something, she became furious and pointed the sword in her hand towards Ren Yingying with a sneer. Ren Yingying also saw the scene of Lin Pingzi's battle with Yu Kanghai and others. Seeing him angry now, she couldn't help but feel a little timid in her heart. The Lin family's evil fighting sword manual was indeed somewhat evil, and it was actually different from the original Dongfang Bubi's martial arts were quite similar, and when he thought about Lin Pingzi's current dress and tone of voice, which were all similar to Dongfang Bubi's, he felt a chill in his heart and his expression changed accordingly. Miss Ren, I don't necessarily have a good temper. If you say one more thing, believe it or not, I will cut off your tongue and use it to drink wine. His voice was sharp, and there was a bit of anger in his eyebrows. At this moment, when he spoke with a smile, people trembled all over. Ren Yingying saw the murderous look in his eyes and turned away involuntarily. Lin Pingzi laughed and slapped the horse on the buttocks with the long sword in his hand. He ignored Ren Yingying and did not move away. After giving her a dust blow, she took Lily and walked away. This is a fierce god. Although Lily did not have a particularly good impression of Ren Yingying due to the influence of her memory, she couldn't help but feel a little scared when she saw that she was no longer in front of her and she was getting along with Lin Pingzi. In the original work, Lin Pingzi hates Yu Buchan to the core, hating him even more than the enemies who slaughtered his entire family. Because of this, he has no good impression of Yu Lingshan, his already married daughter-in-law. Later, he even killed Yu Lingshan with his own hands. Book lovers are welcome to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all original.